I've been listening to what the government has been saying, and that means the president and his cabinet secretaries. And after listening yesterday especially, I have come to the conclusion that not much was useful to the reasonable mind. In other words, what was really needed yesterday was a basis for the armed forces of the Philippines to move in a more constitutionally compliant manner. Instead of helping them, yesterday's statements from the Malacanang only reinforced the sense that the AFP must do independent soul searching. In other words, the armed forces of the Philippines must remember to look beyond the term of this president. Remember that the Constitution is its North Star, that they are, by the terms of the Constitution, the protector of the people, and that they will brook nothing that is violative of that Constitution or the applicable laws of the Philippines. So it was refreshing, actually, for me to hear the statement of Secretary Eduardo Año of the Department of Interior and Local Government, where he said that he proposes, and I found it a very wise proposal, that should an arrest warrant be issued by a court, then it would be preferable that the Senate President encourage Senator Trillanes to turn himself over to the civilian court instead of the Philippine National Police coming to fetch and arrest him, in recognition of the fact that he is a duly elected senator occupying a high-level position. It was a gracious gesture on Secretary Año's part, and I am encouraged by the fact that he remembers quite vividly the Constitution and that it is the long-term interests of the Filipino people that we must all serve. A similar assurance should also ensue from the armed forces of the Philippines. They must remember that the financial benefit that Secretary Roque was touting as the reason that the soldiers should obey President Duterte, even though that order is questionable, the financial benefit that Secretary Roque was emphasizing indicates two things. First, in Secretary Roque's mind, the AFP is swayed by material self-interest and not genuine service to the Filipino people. That's very, very disturbing. And second, when President Duterte said, o kung may maiibigay sa inyo si Trillanes, doon na kayo. He is basically saying that those benefits come from him. No, Mr. President. Those allowances and salary increases come not from you. They do not come from any politician. They come from hard-earned taxpayers' money. And I have noticed that the President has a tendency to use the possessive pronoun my to describe the military, the police. I hope he does not come to the point where he says the taxpayers' money is his as well. The idea that we should all propound and emphasize to the AFP is that the people are looking up now to the AFP. Does the AFP remember its allegiance and its oath to the Filipino people. Years ago, a large group of our people were so encouraged by the transformation roadmap of the AFP. At last, there was soul searching, and the AFP was categorically laying down the principle that never again will they violate the Constitution, never again will they allow themselves to be instruments of oppression, instruments of politicians. They will be on the side of the people. The people are asking that the same kind of message be conveyed to them today. And I think that everyone is quite well aware that people will resist the imposition of martial law. I do not think that the AFP will turn its back on the people. I do not think that the AFP will allow itself to be used by political self-interest. The AFP knows that it is not the tool of politicians. The AFP, I believe, will look beyond the term of any president to look at the long-term welfare, not just of the individual soldier on the field, but of every Filipino. Every one of us looks forward to the time when we can hold our heads up high again and say that we have the best professional military in the world, that they have thrown their lot with the people.